first thing we're going to do is cut our cord. You're going to cut about 2 feet. You don't want it too long because it can be difficult to manipulate. And you're going to thread your needle. Once you thread your needle, you're going to leave about an 8-inch tail here, which is going to be the extra string that you're going to need. I don't like to double up the string because it can get difficult to weave in and out of the different beads. When you're done with threading, you're going to triple knot the end of the string with about a 1-inch tail here, which we will cut later, but we do need that. And you're going to triple knot by going under and through, just a classic knot, and make sure they're overlapping each other. I already have my knot done. So once you have that, we're going to get ready to put on the first beads. Here we have an example, so I'm going to use this design. It kind of looks like a star and weaves out. It's really cool. And here we get started. I'm going to start with the green, and we're going to put on 10 beads. This is a technique that just makes it easy to put on these beads. That's why the flat tray is helpful, or the mat, because you don't need to pick up each individual bead. It does take a little getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, it can go a little pretty quickly. Okay, count your beads. 8, 9, 10. Okay, once you have your 10 beads, you're gently going to put them at the end just by that knot. Here's the knot, and we're going to make a circle. This is the very first step of our tubular net, and just double check. We're going to go through the very first bead by the knot counterclockwise. You're going to string the bead, hold it with your fingers, and gently pull the string. Not too tight, but you want to make a beautiful little circle here. This is the base of our net, and now we're ready to get started. We're going to put 3 beads on and go in every other bead. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back through the 5th bead. This is going to be slightly different than our sample, but let's see what it looks like. So we're going to put on 3 beads. I'm going to use yellow now, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to skip a bead. Again, I'm going counterclockwise and go in, skip one in the next, and hold and pull. Okay, that's what it looks like. Take your time. 1, 2, 3. Skip a bead in the next. Hold, pull. 1, 2, 3. Skip a bead. Hold, pull. You don't want any tangling. It's a little tricky to mess up here because it's kind of hard to fix it. You got to go backwards, but we will talk about some tricks for that later. 1, 2, 3. And when we get to the last bead, so we're kind of making a star here, you have to go back through that first bead that you went through to make the circle, and we're going to go skip one, and so we're going through that bead twice. Now this is a little bit tricky. We're going to go through that bead the second time, the very first one near the knot, and we're going to go up 2 of the yellows to the next level. So we're going, now we've done the 3 yellows, and we're going up through 3 now. So see where that needle is? I'm going through 1 green and 2 yellows. I'm holding with my hand, my fingers, and pulling gently. So now we were at the next level. We have now made our little star. I'm going to have 5 beads on and go through the middle yellow bead. Hold my fingers and pull, and there you have it. We're now going to the next layer of this flower. 1, 2, 3, add 5 more. And we'll walk through this layer together. 5 beads through the middle of the next of the yellow layer. Okay, we're just going through 1 bead, same direction. Here we are, 5 more. And as you can see, this continues until the project is finished, and we're going to get to the wider part of the bead, and then we're going to taper down. So we go wide and then we go thin again. 5, 5, and 5. Now your beads might be different sizes, and so is your center bead. So each layer, as you learn this technique, might require a different number of beads. But once you learn and get this kind of system down, then you can play with it and change it up. Okay, this is the trickier part. I'm going to add a couple more of my clear beads here. 1, 2. Okay, so here we go. Now we're getting to the end. We're going to go through that yellow one as we're supposed to, and up 3 beads past, then we can lock it in place and kind of save our work. If you want to take a break, you're going to go under, pull through the little hole here. Make sure no tangles. Really hold it tight with your fingers and pull. Okay, just a simple knot is going to give you a break. Keep everything in place. Just 1 knot is good enough. And now you have this beautiful shape beginning to take form around our bead. Continue wrapping. I'm going to go back to the 5 beads now, and I'm going to show you what the next step is. So now we've done multiple layers of 9, and every bead is different, so you do have to play around with these numbers, but you want a center bead, you know, equal distance. So now I'm going to continue around now with the 5 beads, going in through the 5th bead of the 9 layer. And my larger bead is now in there. So we are wrapping and keeping that in there, creating a snug little blanket. So now we're back to 5. We've knotted. Okay, 4, 5. Continue weaving through. Find your middle bead, whatever number bead. You might have 7 beads on there, you might have 9, you might have 5. You can do this even with small beads, but you want to find that middle bead and start to wrap it. Four, 5. Okay. Continue on. Go through the middle, always hold it, and you can see it really creating this snug little sack here. Put a few more beads. Now my beads are different sizes. They're not perfectly calibrated. I believe these are vintage, and you know, so I'm trying to find beads that are more or less the same size, because that will affect the piece. And you can use any seed beads that you want. Just notice that if some are bigger than the others, it will affect the design a little bit and the symmetry. Now, if it's a little tight, it's hard to get the bead through, so got to maneuver a little bit. Okay, here we go. It's really coming out nice now. And I have 1 more layer for this, and then we're going to go keep weaving down. So use the other side, the first steps, to now reverse. Okay, I'm going through and up to my next layer, going through 4 beads now. Hold and pull. Now that we have done all this work, it's a good time to pull tight and continue with that little knotting, be sure to hold everything snug and add 2 more beads here and through the middle layer. Sometimes you have to kind of poke them out a little. All right, that's looking really beautiful. Another 2 beads. And it doesn't take a lot of time to do this. It's a lot of fun, and you can continue this wrapping technique around anything. You have to manipulate and play with the number of beads in order to wrap odd shapes. But once you get the hang of it, it kind of gets fun to figure out the puzzle of your design. There we go. And 1 more, we're going to finish it up. 2 more beads here. We're going to go through the yellow first and up. So now we're wrapping it up. So I'm going to continue the design. I'm going to go through 2 beads here, and we're going to knot. So I'm going to pull tight. I have it really snug around, and I'm going to knot it under, through the loop, and pull. I'm going to knot it once. I'm going to go through another bead. Now this is a trick to not have too many big knots sticking out. I'm going to knot again here after I went through another bead so the knots are separated. Great. And now I'm going to go through another few beads like that. And now we can cut. I'm going to use the snip, and you can cut close because the knot is behind it. Okay, now this is stunning. Now you can see my other tail over here. Find it and snip it there as well. And that is it. We have this beautiful bead. We are finished. We wrapped it with our seed beads. It looks so pretty, so cute. And now you can put any cord with it, design it how you want. You can use this string to weave through and make a necklace. You have so many opportunities, but you created this beautiful pendant and a wrapping design, which you can use in many of your techniques for your work. Thank you for joining me.